Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Welcome everyone in today's conversation once again. And yesterday in my previous conversation, I was discussing about extensively about life, that we every day take upon some types of thoughts, and we generally discuss that thought, aligning ourselves with the scripture, because everything that we talk, everything that we could hear, anything that we could think or listen, everything is encrypted in the scriptures, because whatever forms, whatever way that we lead our life, the sages describe every part of life, every type of life that could be led on earth in the scriptures. And these scriptures always give us, like they are the itineraries of leading any part, any sort of life, whatever way you are leading the life. These are the pathways, these are the helpful mediums, the scriptures that help us understand any part of life in any way we want. Some person tries to do one type of work, and the other wants to do some different type of work. So there are numerous works that the people are doing on this earth, and to direct people on the right path, to direct people on the path of righteousness, on the path of brotherhood, on the path of equality, and helping every people, and always walking on his path, keeping in mind that he too is a part of this nature. And since as he himself doesn't want to be hurt by anyone, the same way he shouldn't hurt this nature. And that thing starts right away from his life. Like, he is the part of nature. And as I was saying in my previous conversation, that every person, when he takes the accountability that he should transform his life, he should make his own life a better life, then what happens that as he never tries to kill his life, as he never tries to disturb his own life, the same way when he takes his life as a part of this nature, and when he doesn't spoil it, when he always maintains it, physically, emotionally, spiritually, then in some way he's helping this nature to live, because he initially is a part of this nature. He initially is the part of this universe, because every particle of this universe is the part of this universe, is somewhere making up this universe. Like every drop of water forms, agglomerates to make an entire ocean. So every drop of water counts. Every drop of water has its own importance in this entire vast swath of ocean. The same way, every person's life is important in this nature, and every person's this utmost accountability is that he starts maintaining and protecting his life. And once the person starts doing this, he eventually would become the person that raises and lives different lives of different people too. So with this thought in mind, I want to say you that we should always remain alert in our lives while doing any work. It's the general thesis of every person that we should remain alert when we are doing any sort of work. But what do I mean when I say remain alert? Like on the path of life, when you're walking and you're doing some good job, what is the benefit? What is the result of doing good job? That you'll be praised by people when that job achieves its fruition. When you achieve success in any good part of life, in any field that you feel is good, and you work incessantly in that field, and you achieve some success in that, then inevitably people will praise you. You'll get ovation by the people. But whenever that happens, always maintain a protective shroud across you, surrounding you, that the the praise that people give you, the appreciation that people give you, never affects your life. Because you'll see numerous examples throughout the history of humanity that people only fell down when when they accomplished something. During the days of their labor, during the days of their struggle, during the days of their painstaking, they didn't fall down. But once they achieved success and they became overwhelmed with that, and they, incorporated themselves with the praise, with the dignity they had gathered, and forgot their true selves, that was the time when they deteriorated their own lives and the entire kingdom. There are so many examples throughout the history when we see that people didn't fall down when their life was troublesome. They fell down when they achieved great success that is deemed some of the greatest success in history. We get so many examples. There's no need to count their names on fingers, because you people too would know them, and if you don't know them, you go through the history of humanity once. And not more, just 200 or most importantly, most extensively 500 years back. You read down the history and you'll get so many examples throughout the world that defines that. Why am I telling this word? That it defines the importance, the weight of me. And the scripture is saying that we should always remain vigilant when there is praise pouring on us, when appreciation of people is being poured on us. Because people make mistakes when their life is at ease. When there is struggle in life, there is so much the lines, the cracks in life, the possibilities that life will generate cracks are too narrow. But when you have achieved something, when you have gained something in life that you could stand on and make your life journey and make your life's journey an easy one, then the life generates bigger possibilities of making bigger cracks, of making bigger destructions. So always remain vigilant during those times, and it could only occur when you are the administrator of your own self. You don't flow down in the path, in the waters of the river. I mean, you don't flow down with the emotions of people. You don't flow down with whatever people present in front of you, whatever emotion that arises in you. Because it's our heart. It's the general tendency of human heart, of human life, is to fall down. That's why we are called human beings, that we have the right, we have the strength in us that we could lift ourselves up. No animal could do it. Nothing in this nature has that property that could do it. So we are the most blessed part of the nature, most blessed part of the creation, that we have that property, we have the power in us that we could lift ourselves, we could take ourselves in whatever direction we want. That is the property, that is the inherent property that we have gathered as a bless from God. So it's our work, it's our job to be the king of ourselves, to be the king of our own self, so that any emotion, whatever it arises in us, cannot flow us in its own direction. Because as we are human beings, as I said, that we gather all types of emotion. If we are not completely elevated, if we are not completely uplifted, so life would take us through all sorts of emotions, like emotions of hatred, emotions of love, emotions of over-loving someone, emotion of over-hating someone, or sometimes killing someone, sometimes doing nefarious activities in the nature, in the society, in community. So we would rush, we would move towards all sorts of emotions in our lives. And what type of emotion, what type of life is good, every person knows that. Only to make him walk on that path, he would have to be strong enough that he always holds good emotions and always eludes, always pushes away bad emotions. To do that, he needs to be the king of himself. And one of the greatest destruction, one of the greatest thief of human life that steals away all sorts of happiness from him is rejoicing your own accomplishments, like in a bad manner, like when people praise you, when people appreciate you, and you become you feel yourself that I am that person, I am the most powerful person, I have accomplished whatever I wanted, and now my life, what I would define how my life goes on, and I am not obligated to follow the rules and tenets of whatever so-called great people say that these are the rules and regulations of life, because I have gathered everything on my own strength. I have gathered all opulence, all enormities in life on my own strength. Now, I would do whatever I want in my life. This is not your power. This is your weakness. So always, every time, try to defeat this weakness in you, and always rise yourself on the path of upliftment. And when you start doing so, you become the real person, and that's how the scripture is describing. And one is the way, like. Whenever we feel that we have gathered everything in us, I mean, we are the one character that is a doer in our lives. I mean, we have whatever we gather in life, that is basically is gathered by us, is gathered by our own hard work, and we don't feel. I mean, not we. Some people feel so that God has no existence in life, and God has nothing to do in our lives, and whatever we have in our lives today, it's solely because we gathered it by our own work. But let me ask you, who is that? How did you get the power? How did you get that emotion? How did you get that ability to work hard in your life? And when you ask this question and delve into it, you'll get that there is something hidden in us, in this nature, that is always yielding us that energy, yielding us that power, yielding us that motivation, that inspiration that we always work upon our aims to fulfill them. So God is there. That eternal being is God, who is always motivating us. Some people who are curious in their lives understand that inspiration, that motivation of God, and act on it. And the power given by the God, they utilize the power and become successful people. So never relegate the presence of God from your lives. And this, when you start doing so, you'd never be alone in your life, and you can never commit any mistake in your life. Like when your parents are in front of you, when different types of people are in front of you, around you, you'll never think about committing any bad activity. Okay? Physically, emotionally, what goes on in your mind, no one knows. But God knows even that thing too. So let's take that you are around people, or if you're in your house, you're around your parents, and now if you are your entire body is urging to do something which is not good, humanly, you'd not do that in front of your parents, in front of your elders, because you'd feel tentative towards doing it, because any bad thing that we do, what is the sign of bad thing? What is the sign of sin? That people can't do them in front of anyone. They feel shameful whenever they do such things, whenever those things get disclosed in community, whenever those things get divulged in society. So this is a sign of bad work, of bad activities. So you'd never commit those activities when there is someone around you, like some person. And if the day you start believing God, and when you start believing in God, that means you have started accepting the fact that God is omnipresent. I mean, God is omnipresent. He is everywhere. He is not confined in any body, in any part of nature, in any single part of nature. He is spread everywhere equally in this nature. This is the vastness, and this is the importance, and this is the power of God. So the day when you start believing in God, this is the marker that never commit any bad activity in your life. Because knowing that God exists, and when you have believed this thing that God exists, that means you believe too that God is everywhere. And when God is everywhere, that means God is right at this moment with me, in front of me, and around you too. And when anything, any person, as I was discussing before, that you would not commit any bad activities when there is someone around you. The same way, when you believe in God, you'd not be able to commit any bad activities even if you are alone, even when you are in a reclusive state away from the people of the world. Because at that moment, you'll feel, doesn't matter how many people are with me, what is that eternal being that God is with me? He is watching on me all the time. He's checking on me all the time. Every moment, every part of every second, He is watching on me. And if I commit any bad activity now, that means I am not a theist. I'm an atheist person. Because believing in God, that means you accept that the presence of God everywhere. Right? Everywhere. And when you accept so and live your life believing in the fact that God is everywhere with me and He is watching on me incessantly, then you're not, and understanding and believing this thought, when you don't commit any bad activity in your life, that means you are a theist person. Otherwise, whatever way you pray to God, whatever way you feel yourself blessed by God, or you go to churches, temples, mosques, anywhere, any place to pray to God, worship to God, everything is a failure. If you're not committed in your life to do good works and always put yourself aside from bad works. So this is the thing which signifies a human life. This is the thing that divides a bad man from a good man. This is the dividing line. And if you are living a life so, that means you're a good man. I mean, always believing in God and always believing that He is with you and not committing any single activity that is nefarious in human life, that is despicable for humanity. When you live your life like that, then you start gaining and getting the grace of God. And God helps only those people, as we always hear this proverb, that the one who helps himself, he is the person who is helped by God. And this is completely true thing, that God only helps the person who works for himself. And when I say this, a person who works for himself, I mean that he's always vigilant about his own life, about the way he is leading life, about the way he is dealing with his works, about the way that he is feeling that he is accepting any work, and the work, basically the work he is doing. And when a person does so, God helps him. And It's the very good part of God that He never helps everyone. He is helping everyone. He is always giving inspirations to everyone. That's why whenever we urge, whenever we venture out to do any bad work, there is every time we thrust ourselves to do some bad work, even if we inch ourselves forward a little bit towards doing some bad work, a voice of soul appears in us and always forbids us to do that work. This is the existence of God. This is the help of God. There is a voice in us that always tries to tell us, that always tries to incline us towards goodness. This is the help of God that He gives to His children every moment, every time, every part of life. Doesn't matter what work they're doing. So this is the mercy, this is the blessing of God. We always say that we want to remain, live a life as blessed children of God. So His bless is always showering on us. His bless is always being spread on us. And what is the most important thing that I was telling you? That effectively, God helps those people who help themselves. I mean, who are always vigilant in their lives by their actions, by their works, by their devotion, dedication, and by their lives in totality. So those people get the greater grace of God. And the people who work better in their lives, and it's the rule of nature. When you do much, you get much. When you do less, you get less. But it's also the oath of God that whoever is seeking His path, whoever is seeking the path of God, of Godism, can never be destroyed. Doesn't matter how much hard work or he is doing. I mean, different people have different types of abilities in them physically. Some people can do physical work better than other person. Some person can do mental work better than other person. But the one thing that remains equal in every person is his devotion. Your devotion should remain unwavered. Your devotion should remain undeterred in you. And when you lead your life, devoting yourself to God, doing your work of the day, whatever way your power is, your strength is, then no matter how much work you do physically or mentally, your spiritual state is always going to be better and better every day. So God always counts on your devotion. And that's the thing that is people, that is great men, are telling us right from the beginning of the scripture. That it doesn't matter how many words you read, you learn every day. The only thing that matters at the end of the day is how much knowledge, how much wisdom did you encapsulate in your life and started leading your life in the way aligning yourself to the teachings of the scriptures. And when you start doing so every day, then one day, inevitably, you'd become the real Rama, real character, real good character that are described in the scripture. This is the utility of understanding and learning the scripture as a whole. So today we end our conversation here, and in the next conversation would come again with some better thoughts, with another good thought, and you live your life with care and always remain vigilant towards leading your life. And that's how you'd be able to build a better life for yourself, as well as a better life for every person that is around you. Thank you.